We knew this will happen. We know the day will come when Avatar gets even more modern audience. I was okay with Korra, wasn't a super big fan, but I don't think Korra was a bad show. I was okay with the live adaptation, even though it technically ruined a lot of things and messed up a lot of things. But it was kind of cutesy, and I was okay with it. But whatever happens with the next Avatar show that's gonna be purely made for deranged modern audiences, it's probably gonna be one of the greatest disasters in a very long time.
Some major leaks for the next Avatar series have just surfaced, and there is a lot of confusion going around in the community, and we're going to be clearing up all of that.
Probably a lot of anger.
I've actually seen the animatics here, and honestly, guys, it is super mind-blowing. I'm personally really excited for it to come out. I've teased it a couple of times in the past, and I've been biting my tongue here for months, waiting for someone else to leak it so I could openly talk about it on this channel. Obviously, I'm not going to be showing the actual animatics for legal reasons. Those are copyrighted. I don't want my channel taken down. I mean, this is my career after all. I don't want to lose it. However, I can confirm that this article by Night Edge Media, from what I know, is mostly correct. We're also going to be expanding upon the information in this article with some exclusive information that
The Earth Avatar TV series plot details revealed. Oh boy. This can only be the equivalent of pain, in my honest opinion. There is no way.
that I know. Everything that I'm going to be saying is double sourced. Unless it's speculation, then that's just me speculating, but I'll make that clear. So, as always, if you want to know everything, you better stay here until the end of the video. Following the events of The Legend of Korra, Korra literally blows up the world in an apocalyptic event for some unknown reasons. No, I'm not joking. As if people already didn't hate Korra enough, she literally ends the Four Nations as we know it, which might be the best feat out of any Avatar we've ever seen, so maybe—
What? That is wild. Is that the new plot? Korra just YOLO destroys the world? Because of what? What could be the reasoning for this, okay? I have no idea. Seems just wild, inappropriate, and completely. I'm closing the blinds or all lag sport. I'm not spazzing out, even though I do smell burnt toast because, yeah. Okay, blowing up the whole nations. You know what that sounds like? That sounds like the goddamn most cheapest, oh, we all need to get along, there should be no more nations and things. Borders bad, the Great Wall of Bossing Say gone, everyone now is gonna be friends. Okay? We're just gonna stop all of this. It doesn't matter. Everyone's now gonna be all friends. No more fire benders, water benders, dick benders. Everyone's equal. Oh my god. It sounds like the most cheapest thing ever. And I bet they're gonna also implement their capitalism bad, imperialism bad. Okay? For the people, by the people, something something Marxism. That sounds like the cheapest thing ever. Pain.
maybe I got this one wrong. Or did I? Which brings me to the working title of the series, which is Seven Havens. So what are the Seven Havens and what does that mean? The Seven Havens are 7 different cities that the remainder of the world's population live in. These are cities with post-apocalyptic wastelands outside of them. Now,
Well,
this probably
wait a minute. Oh, so she actually destroys the world and the Four Nations? Seven? Are we literally just gonna do the dragon turtle thing, but now we're gonna technically live it? This sounds like a repeat of the dragon turtle cities that we learned about in Korra and whatnot.
confuses a lot of you. As we all know, back in 2023, there was a rumor going around that this series would be a cyberpunk series, but from everything that I've seen, that just isn't the case. From what I've seen, it's mostly post-apocalyptic, but it's hard to judge without seeing the entire series in its entirety.
Okay, now you got me intrigued though. Post-apocalyptic seems okay. Just Okay, so it's a very little destruction of all the nations? That seems not that bad. Though that does present some issues, because in post-apocalyptic series, this is what every post-apocalyptic series always struggles with. And that is the fact that the post-apocalypse can only be interesting for so long, because at the start, you're just fighting against monsters and an unknown something, and it's just monsters. But then after all these mystical things, new things, they get exhausted. And at that point, you know what happens? Everyone knows what happens. You also know it. You can't probably actually think about this one, but the moment I say it, you're gonna instantaneously be, oh yeah, right, like every single time, because it always happens. And the main villains are gonna be humans again. That is the biggest problem with these post-apocalyptic mystical series and whatnot, because always inevitably the main baddies are gonna be humans. So the post-apocalypse is not gonna matter for that much of a long time.
The next avatar will be a young earthbender girl that has a peg leg. Now, the article
Peg
states that
leg!
she's
Oh no! Oh no! What is Blizzard making this? Oh no! I don't want a crippled ugly. Oh, she's also gonna be ugly. You know it's gonna. Oh no! This is modern audience 10 out of 10.
Paraplegic, but
Well, I'm experiencing the roller coaster of emotions. Sadness. Oh yeah, we're back, boys, and we're done. Oh man, why can't life be simple? Why can't we always be on the we're back stage of life, not it's over? Oh no.
that's a little bit of a stretch. Typically, paraplegic refers to someone who is paralyzed. The avatar just has an amputated foot and calf. She can move around perfectly.
Oh yeah, just an amputated foot, and she's also ugly and looks like a man. Just small things.
Fine. Her animal companion is a large, fluffy, cat-like creature that is predominantly featured in the opening episode and is extremely cute. If you've ever seen ReZero, I would describe it as being like the small version of Puck, but large. Now, that sounds really weird, but if you're a ReZero fan,
Puck also looks like a ball sack.
That sounds really weird, but if you're a
Yeah, no.
ReZero fan, you'll know what I mean. I'm sure everyone who is a fan of Appa will be more than glad to see an animal companion have actual relevance.
By the way, the biggest thing that I hated about the Korra series, and again, I overall liked Korra. I'm gonna literally say, yeah, I was that person. I didn't think it's great. I thought that it's very bad at some places. It completely messed up the part where Korra lost her bending, and they just made it a very, very, very boring and shallow experience, and it just pissed people off because it was handled as poorly as possible, and everything later was even worse technically. Okay, listen. Still, I'm okay with the Korra series. Crucify me all you fucking want. It is what it is. I said what I said, and I mean what I said. But this, the biggest thing that I did not like about Korra is her pet raccoon dog, or whatever the fuck that was. I don't even remember its name. That's how bad it was. Okay? It just doesn't work. I don't care about the avatar having like a fluffy companion that's actually big and serves a purpose, okay?
Again, unlike in Korra, where I'm sure some people forgot she even had an animal companion.
Exactly.
The avatar's name is unknown, and even if we did know her name from the animatics, it really wouldn't matter, as animatics typically just have placeholder names. But it appears that the avatar is either homeless or in poverty. It's also clear that she's an outcast from society. Looking over walls to see the other people, she's always seen to be alone. She looks very unhappy, or even depressed.
Okay, that's great, but let me tell you what's gonna be the obvious modern day writing problem. It's the fact that we're gonna just have to accept this fact. I can already tell you the story, because this is how undeep the story I think is gonna be, okay? We're gonna start with Avatar. She's unliked, and we're never gonna get a reason why she's unliked. Or maybe if we're lucky, we're gonna get the reason because, oh, she used her bending bad and people fucking suffered for it or something like that. And they didn't even know she's the Avatar, okay? That's what it's gonna be. That's how bad it's gonna be. And then people are gonna be like, I don't like you, and half an episode later, people are gonna be let me cuddle your fucking toes because I'm a moron. Oh, I can. This already sounds like completely bad writing. It sounds extremely surface level. It sounds like there is no depth.
Pressed. Since no one knows she's the Avatar, I'm not really sure how she ended up in this situation or what her exact circumstances even are. But here's the
They're
big
gonna be dumb.
twist everybody is waiting for. She's an identical twin, but the twins were separated at a young age. When the White Lotus searched for the next Avatar, they took in the wrong twin. So the real Avatar grew up in poverty while the twin grew up rich.
How? They have a literal goddamn test to determine if you're the Avatar. So what? The twin is not the Avatar, but she does the test, or the test is not done, and no one figures out that, wait a minute, she can't do the basics of other bend. How? The Avatar is supposed to at least, display the ability to bend other elements at least a bit, even if they're unsuccessful at that. Like that, this doesn't make sense. And then it's probably gonna turn out, oh, the Avatar got split into two, so there's two Avatars because it's twins. And if we're super lucky with the brain damage rot plots, these two twins are gonna come together to finally form the big Avatar, the real one, because they were one and then they were split. And maybe there's like a backstory of, aha, we are the evil White Lotus. Ho ho ho! We're actually trying to split the Avatar, but something went wrong. Uh, why must life be pain?
Rich. Now, some people are reporting that they're both avatars or one's avatar. It's just a little clear what's actually going on here, like if she can bend all four elements or not. But from what I know, the poor twin is the avatar, like all the previous avatars. But the other twin that the White Lotus has could have Vatu in her or something like that. One of my sources told me that she had.
Wait, wasn't Watu the reason why the bending can even be done? Wasn't how does splitting make sense?
Quote unquote avatar like powers. So I think the Vatu theory could very well be true. It's not known what exactly has happened to their parents, but based on what I've seen, I think it's safe to assume that they both were orphans. One of the consequences of Korra destroying the world is that now people are extremely afraid of the Avatar, and borderline view the Avatar as an evil entity. This was very likely one of the reasons why the White Lotus decided to hide.
That actually at least kind of makes sense. But then we're probably gonna also get the story of, oh, Korra didn't try to destroy the world, she tried to save it, but something went wrong. Oh, this is depressing.
The other twin. And while this next part is entirely speculation, I think it's possible that the White Lotus abandoned the protagonist because she's physically disabled and they didn't believe that she could be the Avatar. Perhaps this could mean that the White Lotus in this era is more brutal than the previous.
How does that make sense? How does the White Lotus know how to find the Avatar, but then they find her with their ways of finding the Avatar, and then they're like, well, she has a peg leg, guess she's not the Avatar. How does that make sense?
Ones. As far as the Avatar's disability goes, she appears to be able to still decently move around, so I'm not really sure how much of a factor this is going to be, if at all. I think it'd be really cool if her walking around somehow becomes bending aided, something similar to Toph. This is actually very similar to what happened to Kyoshi during her novels, as she wasn't initially identified as the Avatar until later in life. At first, I was thinking, oh, this is actually really funny how the Earth Kingdom always messes up this sort of thing, but in this case, the Earth Kingdom kind of doesn't exist anymore, and it was the White Lotus's fault that this happened. So if we really want to blame anyone, I guess we could blame Aang. After all, Aang was the one who decided that the White Lotus was going to be taking over these responsibilities of finding the next Avatar. One of the coolest things from this whole ordeal is an airbender who has a hoverboard. Now unfortunately, it's not one of those cool hoverboards like in Back to the Future. It's one of those one wheel type hoverboards, but instead of a wheel,
oh wow, you introduce a hoverboard which is already lame, but then you make it worse. I'm actually legitimately fucking depressed hearing all of this crap. This legitimately is damaging me.
uses airbending to make the wheel. Again, this isn't very cyberpunk-esque, it's more so just post-apocalyptic with remnants of Korra's technology. The young man who is riding this hoverboard appears to be a Sokka-type character. Literally everyone that he comes in contact with in the Haven seems to love him. I think there's even a girl who's like, I love you, like under her breath or something after he walks away. I know a lot of people are going to be having complex feelings about the possibility of there being 2 avatars, as it would be a major departure from the established lore of the series. Roku literally had a twin in his latest novel and he wasn't the avatar. However, hear me out. What if the second avatar, the one that was raised by the White Lotus, actually has Vatu sealed inside of her? Just like how the normal avatar has Rava sealed.
How about you seal me until they finally make a good Avatar series and then unseal me? How about that? Well, why do I have to suffer?
Inside of them. This could very well be the result of something Korra had to do during her time as the Avatar. It would also explain why she has quote-unquote Avatar-like abilities, but not necessarily the same as the traditional Avatar. Also, the White Lotus knows Korra lost a connection to her past lives. They could write off anything weird with the twin they have as a result of that. At the end of the first episode, a giant spirit
that is actually true.
Described as a
but still stupid.
Massive eyeball attacks the haven that the Avatar lives in and kidnaps the mirror. The twins reunite to stop the evil spirit and go off on a training arc, presumably to go save the mirror of the haven. Instantly, again, my brain is like, this spirit has to be Father Glowworm, but as I didn't see this part of the episode myself, I cannot confirm it's him. But as we all know, spirits never truly die, they're just reborn. I think it's likely, especially if they want to connect their mobile game to this somehow. It makes sense to me. Since the setting is post-apocalyptic, we have to wonder what is causing people to hide away in the havens. I'm guessing...
Gee, I don't know. Maybe it's the post-apocalypse? That's... maybe that?
Korra didn't just set off a bunch of nukes and cause a fallout, and there's radiation everywhere. What's the next closest thing to...
The next closest thing is the fact that Korra created some kind of thing. The spirit, when she... constantly, when she did the thing where she constantly opened the spirit realm, something went wrong and there was some kind of over release explosion type of thing, and now there are a lot of evil spirits or something going around, and the cities are the only ones that are safe because there's like rune words or something like that around there, because the White Lotus exists in those cities and, you know, things like that. It's probably going to be the most generic thing ever. Not that, honestly, for the setting like that to work, it needs to be more complex than that, but that's probably what it's gonna be.
Fallout and radiation sickness in the Avatar universe. Well, my personal theory that in this era, evil spirit attacks are extremely common. Perhaps maybe even the Avatar lost her leg in a spirit attack when she was very young. Maybe an unintended consequence of Korra opening up the spirit portals to the physical world was that powerful dark spirits are now able to invade. Maybe, just maybe, in what would be the most...
Yeah, makes sense.
Korra move ever, she attempts to cleanse the world of all of the evil spirits by destroying it. Of course, spirits never truly...
That sounds too stupid even for Korra. I ain't gonna lie. Anyway, the Avatarist. Oh, I am so sad. I'm actually sad. I am legitimately sad now. This is bad. I do not enjoy this. I am... My day is ruined, actually. I'm not even joking. I feel bad now. Hi.